Oh boy, here we go. This should be a fun one. You guys know what this is about. Oh, y'all know what this is about. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Not much words need to be said about this matchup. It's Ravens, it's Steelers in Heinz Field tomorrow afternoon. What do I have to say? Get it done. There's no game plan really to say here. Get it done. Get it done. Both these teams have dealt with a lot of issues throughout the season. The only difference is their record. Baltimore does not know what they are as a unit for the most part, especially offensively. Starting to get it together defensively, but offensively, we just don't know what to make from them. We do not know what we're going to get from this Ravens team on a week-to-week basis, which is why it's so hard to gauge how they're going to perform. I mean, this has easily been the most resilient team in the NFL, but at the same time, they're the most unpredictable team in the NFL. We really just don't know what we're going to get from this team. Then you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't know who they are. They've lost their identity. I've seen a lot of Steelers fans come out and say that this Steelers team is not the Steelers team they grew up watching. They really don't know what they are right now. When you got both Urinating Tree and Chisel Adonis coming out and talking about this, you already know it's something serious, man. They don't look like the Steelers team we saw, dominate throughout their time of existence. This does not look like that Steelers team that I saw growing up. With all those players, man, it's just not. It's just not. Obviously, Polamalu isn't walking through that door. Obviously, Harrison isn't walking through that door. Obviously, Taylor isn't walking through that door. Ryan Clark's not walking through that door. I mean, you just don't know what you're getting from this Steelers team. And I've seen a lot of Steelers fans be absolutely disgusted with some of the performances their team has put up over the last several weeks because they're not playing Steelers football. So you got one team that doesn't know what they want to be and another team that's so unpredictable you don't know what they're going to present on a week-to-week basis. And both of them just happen to be teams that are playing in the AFC North. Welcome to the AFC North, where nothing makes sense. And Cincinnati happens to be the most fundamentally sound team. I don't know how, but they're the most fundamentally sound team in the AFC North right now. Honestly, they should be leading this division. But Baltimore, because of how resilient they've been so far, they're leading in the AFC North. But we're not here to talk about Cincinnati. We're here to talk about this matchup. Again, like I said earlier on, there's not much to talk about. I could sit here and do the same thing I do with other teams on a weekly basis where I'm like, all right, we're going up against this team. We got to do this, and that. Offense needs to do this. Defense needs to do that. But no. It's Steelers week. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's in Heinz Field. You know what you need to do. Get it done. Talking about the offense, we got to establish the run game. They know that. Pittsburgh's defense has been struggling to stop the run. Joe Mixon ran all over them last week. They know. They know that run defense is soft. They should be able to take advantage of it. So go out and do it. I could speak on Lamar Jackson. His overall performance was terrible against the Browns, but he knows. He took accountability for that like he always does. That's what makes him a great person and a great player. And a great leader as well, because he took accountability for his poor play and said he's going to get back in the lab and get it together and fix what's wrong. That's what you expect from great players, so I expect him to play better. He understands the moment. He understands the situation. He's going to be a better quarterback coming onto that field tomorrow. So there's nothing I need to say about that. I could speak on the offensive line protecting him and blocking better, but they understand what they've been. Injuries have hurt them. They understand the inconsistencies that are there. They understand they need to do better in pass blocking. They understand all of that. So just go out there and get it done. I can speak on the defense, making sure to stop the run. They understand what Najee Harris brings to the table, and they understand they got to stop the run. They did it last week against this two-headed monster in Cleveland of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. If they can do it there, they should certainly do it here this week, especially since they most likely are getting back Calais Campbell. So I don't need to tell them to stop the run. They know about that. I also don't need to tell them who to look out for. We already know the two main weapons on that passing game is Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. They know the two. They know what they got to do. Now, here comes the scary part. I do not know which corners are going to play. All our corners are either hurt or sick. I believe we activated one from the practice squad to the active roster. I don't remember who it was, but we activated somebody, so he might get to play. I have no idea how the DB room is going to look. I have no idea what corners are going to play. It's all sorts of confusing mess. I don't know who's going to play. But they already know what they got to do. They got to focus in on Deontay Johnson. They got to focus in on Chase Claypool. Those are the two guys you got to focus on when it comes to the passing game for Pittsburgh. They know. They also know Ben Roethlisberger is getting the ball out of his hands quickly. In fact, I believe he is the fastest quarterback right now in the league to get the ball out of his hands. Bunch of short throws. They're not throwing the ball down the field that much. When they take shots, it's going to Deontay Johnson. It's going to Chase Claypool. So look out for that. They already know about that. And they know he's going to take a lot of short and underneath passes. So what do they got to do? Do the thing we've been arguing, not even arguing, but we've been barking at them to do for much of the season. Tackle. Something they've been doing the last several weeks. Just tackle. Tackle. Because they're going to be throwing a lot of short passes. That's what Ben does for the most part. He's going to be throwing a lot of short passes. So make the tackle and put them in the third and long situation and force Ben to have to throw the ball down the field, especially when his guys aren't open. So again, the Ravens defense knows what they need to do. The Ravens offense knows what they need to do. They know they got to get it together. They know that they have to play concise and play a complete game. They need to play 60 minutes of quality football, especially on that offensive side. We've seen the defense, especially last week. We've seen the defense play quality defensive football for 60 minutes. We have not really seen that from the offense. Maybe one occasion this season we've seen that from the offense. That was the Chargers game. And even then, they still had some turnovers here and there. But, I mean, like, we'll see. We'll see. We know they have to play a concise game. Quality football needs to be played for 60 minutes. They know all of this because they understand what Pittsburgh is. They understand. Yes, Pittsburgh is sitting at 500 after 11 games, and their season is kind of teetering. They're kind of in a situation where every game is a must-win if they want to make the postseason. But Baltimore also understands that if they don't continue to win, Cincinnati, who's right behind them, can easily swoop in and take that AFC North crown from them. The Ravens are 8-3 right now. They sit first place in the AFC North, and they sit first place in the AFC in general. They got the number one seed. If they want to keep that number one seed, they need to continue to win. So they understand what they got to do. There's not much I got to talk about. This isn't much of a preview. It's just going out there and telling the Ravens to get it done. Get it done. You've already dealt with one divisional rival last week in the Cleveland Browns. You managed to get it done. Come back out here. Get it done. And then next week, prepare for Cleveland again because you will be going to Cleveland to take them on. But we're not worried about next week. We're worried about tomorrow. The Pittsburgh Steelers is our current focus. We'll focus on Cleveland on Tuesday. But you got to get the job done here in Heinz Field because with Cincinnati right behind you, you can't afford to slip up. Get this job done. Go into Heinz Field, get the job done, win the game. So we'll see what happens. You know, this is a team that's been giving us nothing but heartache and heart attacks the entire season because we just don't know what we're going to... Wow, I'm just losing myself for a second. We just don't know what we're going to get from this team. It's as simple as that. We do not know what we will get from the Ravens on a week-to-week basis. So we just hope this will be a week where the Ravens are able to put it together offensively. The defense could continue to play as great as they played over the last two games. And we'll be able to squeeze a victory out of this win because a victory out of this game because I don't believe it's going to be an easy one. I think this is going to be one where we just squeeze by. Just going to squeak by or just and get some sort of 13-10 type victory. I think it's going to be very similar to the game we had last week against Cleveland. Only difference is I don't think we're going to turn the ball over that much because if we do, there's no way you're holding Pittsburgh to 10 points if we're turning the ball over that much because Ben Roethlisberger and that offense will find ways to capitalize at some point. So I believe it will be a relatively clean game for the Ravens offense in terms of not turning the ball over, but it's going to be a tough physical game. The run game is going to dictate it, which means Lamar is going to have to dictate the run game the way he's been doing for much of the season. Passing game, I don't know how much of that's going to play into this, but we'll see. But either way, the Ravens should be able to squeeze by with a quick, not even the quick, but with a tight, I don't want to say this. They'll be able to squeeze by with a small victory because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's not much for me to really talk about here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. That's really all I can say. With that being said, that's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.